Welcome to Fishin Magician TV with Dave Graybill. Brought to you by Hooked on Toys, Town Ford, Lyle's Boats, Cooley Playland, Battery Systems, Bob File Boats and Motors, Lake Pateras Inn, and Gaboon Productions.
Yo, look at this, would you?
Oh, spectacular.
And he spit the hook right when he came in.
Did he really?
Yeah.
Oh my goodness. This morning, we're in Cle Elum at the headquarters for fishing the upper Yakima and other waters with the folks at Troutwater. Here's a familiar face, Johnny Boitano. We've done a couple of shows with Johnny and have had some great trips showing off different sections of the Yakima River. Today, we're going to be floating from above Cle Elum right back into town, essentially. Is that right?
Exactly. So what we're going to do is we're going to go up kind of towards the headwaters of the Yakima, just below Easton, and we're going to be putting in kind of an unorthodox boat launch, just because everything else is snowed in right now. And then I'm going to see how strong you guys are today. There's a couple log jams that we're going to portage around, and then we're going to end up taking out at South Cle Elum Bridge.
Right. My buddy Rollie, who's behind the camera right now, we did this float a couple of years ago, and it was quite an adventure. It's interesting. This is something that I just wouldn't take off and do at any time. I would always check with the people at Troutwater to find out about the conditions. Primarily in the early season, a lot of logs can be blown down over the winter. And so we probably today will have to be dragging the boat around or shoving the boat over a couple of log jams, which makes this a kind of a special float. The reason we go through this kind of effort, though, is the opportunity for catching large rainbow in the spring can be very good.
It can be really good. And another reason too that we go up above is right now the Tiana Way is releasing a lot of water because of snowmelt and rain, and so the whole lower part of the river, the sections that we've done before, is pretty much unfishable. So this time of year we get a lot of people concentrated in a small area, and right now the only stretch that you could really fish is south of state, so it gets a lot of pressure, and by doing kind of the float we're doing today, we're gonna get away from people.
We should probably have it pretty much to ourselves. There's not a lot of people that are willing to go to the work or are aware of what they're into, what they're up against when they float this particular stretch. However, we have total confidence in Johnny here. He's guided, as I said, us on several other occasions. He knows what he's up to. And Rollie and I had a big breakfast, so we're pumped up and ready for action. Really looking forward to today's float on the upper Yakima River.
Undo it, just give it a little yank. Perfect.
Now, Johnny, I know that just every season requires sort of a different approach. We've done everything from big indicators to droppers to just straight floating lines. What's the strategy for early spring?
Early spring, well, right now the water, we just had a big flush of water, so it's just starting to settle back down. So after a big flush of water, we use a lot of stoneflies, San Juan worms. There's a lot of aquatic worms that get flushed into the system, so we'll be fishing a lot of worms. And then springtime is kind of the hype for all the squall of stones. In the last few days, we've been seeing some adults. So we're going to start off in the morning fishing some, your standard nymph, Pat Stone and a San Juan worm on the inside corners. And then hopefully this afternoon, kind of midday, we'll see some adults moving around and get some squall action.
Well, that's terrific. Now, typically you're running a 2-fly rig under an indicator, is that right?
Most of the time, especially starting out in the day, I'll start out with 2 flies. If I feel like there's 1 fly that they're definitely keying on, I will cut off the second fly so I just have 1 so it doesn't take away from the other fly. But I always try to start with 2 just to kind of see what's going. It's amazing to me that every day is a new day out here. Just because yesterday you caught fish on a Pat Stone doesn't mean today it's not going to be on the same color, same fly, even though that we might be in the same stretch.
Right. And what pound leader test at this time of year do you want to run?
So I'm running anywhere from 3x down to 6x. A lot of it's water temperature, or not water temperature, but water clarity determined, and the insects that I'm fishing. So if I see a lot of midge activity and I'm going to fish a lot of 18s and 20s and I have halfway decent water clarity, I'm going to go down to 6x. If the water is kind of that steelhead green and I'm fishing a big Pat Stone and a worm behind it, I'm going to run 3x, 4x to my trailer, so a wide range. And I would say that's pretty true throughout the whole summertime, depending on what bugs that you're fishing. Maybe in the summertime when we're throwing hoppers, we might stretch it out to like 2x, really heavy tippet, just because we're casting tight to the banks, running and gunning, and you're gonna hit bushes, and we want to keep those flies. We don't want to leave the trees having flies.
Right. Well, this is an exciting time to be on this stretch of river. Don't anticipate a whole bunch of fish, but what we do hook could be of excellent quality.
Yes, definitely. It's not going to be a numbers game today, but we should see some very, very large trout.
Excellent.
Your Town Ford is kicking off the season with the best deals of the year. It's the Built Ford Tough Truck Event. Great power and amazing fuel economy means no compromises. And that's what you get in a truck built Ford Tough, like the Ford F-150, with a powerful and efficient EcoBoost engine. The power you want and the economy you need. Or Ford Super Duty, with its amazing 6.7-liter Power Stroke turbo diesel. If you're looking for power, payload, towing economy, your Town Ford's got the truck for you. Head to your Town Ford in East Wenatchee.
The goal of Battery Systems is to provide the best products combined with the most efficient service at competitive prices. I've found their people live up to this, so don't buy anything without talking to them. You should make their batteries and accessories your choice to power your vehicles and boats. This is Dave Graybill, and I choose Battery Systems to keep me running onshore and on the water. To find a Battery Systems product expert in a location near you, log on to batterysystems.net.
Hi, I'm Dave Graybill, the Fishin Magician, and I'm sitting in front of the Lake Pateras Inn. Lake Pateras Inn is one of the most convenient places you can stay if you like to fish for salmon or steelhead on the Upper Columbia River. You can moor your boat at the dock, or there are 2 ramps within yards. They have outdoor power so you can charge your electric motor. Rooms are clean and comfortable and very affordable. Everything you need is right here at the Lake Pateras Inn.
This is David. He's hooked up to a beautiful fish. Been playing this fish now for about 3 or 4 minutes. Hooked it up right tight against the shore. coming by, drifting pretty fast, and slammed it.
That was fun to see that indicator go down and to see the size of the fish. We all got to see it. I lost a big fish earlier, so this one
This is going to make up for it.
That's the beauty of fishing up here in the early spring. The chance of big rainbow is very good.
Good bend in that rod. It's a 5-weight rod, and he's got a lot of E-tie on it.
Man, this fish does not want to come to this boat.
Okay, I'm going to track his rod down now, down to where the fish is. We've got Boitano down below us, getting ready to net it.
Yeah, now got him in a little softer water.
Coming over.
Ooh!
That fish.
That's a big boy.
He doesn't want any part of this.
There's just not anything you can do with these fish this size with this water as fast as it is. I'm going to try to get him upstream a bit more. And you'll only put up with that for so long. Making some progress now. Here we go.
Coming back down to the fish, right here off the back of the boat. You can see the float. You're going to want to move him closer to shore, Dave.
Okay.
That's a very, very, very large fish.
Ah!
Yo, look at this, would you?
Oh, spectacular.
And he spit the hook right when he came in.
Did he really?
Yeah.
Oh my goodness. I love it.
Isn't that pretty?
Good job, man. Oh
Nice
my
work.
God.
Isn't that gorgeous? Look at this. I'll just zoom it in here. Oh, boy. That was...
Oh, that's good.
Fishing in our region has never been better, and if you aren't equipped for it, you're missing out. Bob File Boats and Motors has a great lineup of boats made for fishing in our region, like Kingfisher, Smokercraft, and Alumaweld, and they can find one to fit any fishing style or budget. They have all the accessories too, like electronics from Lowrance. They can take care of you from stem to stern. Bob File Boats and Motors on Sunset Highway in East Wenatchee.
Bob File's gonna make you smile.
Kokanee are biting on Lake Chelan. The Quincy Lakes are opening to trout fishing, and the Columbia Basin Lakes will open soon too. There's good walleye fishing on the Columbia and at Lake Roosevelt. What's an angler to do? Get to Hooked on Toys, that's what. They have everything you need for all of these fisheries and much, much more. Don't miss any of the great fishing in our region. Get to Hooked on Toys at 1444 North Wenatchee Avenue or visit them online at hookedontoys.com.
Okay, Johnny, now, obviously you know what you're doing. Man, that was
today.
a fish. We are working for a fish, but
Yeah.
a fish like that makes it all worthwhile, doesn't it?
Definitely. That's the goal when we come up this high up in the river is, you know, it's not going to be a numbers game. We're looking for a handful of big fish, which we've seen some big fish, and we just landed that one, which is fun. And you have to stay focused, and it's a lot of work.
You know, staying focused is a good point to make, because it's easy to kind of look at the beauty of the surroundings and the deer and the birds, but boy, if you take your eye for your indicator, you're going to be sorry.
Definitely.
Now, and these are these thingamabobs.
Yep. Thingamabobbers. Yep.
Thingamabobbers. Down below that, you've got a nice loop to your finer leader.
Yeah.
Which you're running, what did you say?
This
about
is 3X, and this is about 3.5 feet.
Okay.
So I'm just running a straight mono line from my indicator down to where I put my first tippet on, and that's going to be about 3 feet.
Okay.
Instead of using a tapered leader, that's going to sink straight down. It's more what we call a hinged leader.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
And then you've got a little split shot.
I have a little split shot, which I take from my 3X today. What we got is 3X here,
Yep.
and then we taper it down to 4X.
Okay.
And then on that knot, I always put my split shot above the knot.
Gotcha.
That way it doesn't keep sliding down onto my fly. If I was to run if I still wanted to run 3X to my main fly, I'm always going to put a tippet knot right here, just so I always can have that, you know, spot to put my split shot so it doesn't slide down. So I can still go 3X to 3X, but I always want that transition. And I always like to put my split shot roughly, this one's a little long, but from 12 to 16 inches above my first fly.
Right. And this is just another way to get you vertical in the water column.
Correct.
Or your bobber.
Yep.
Bobber. Your thing, no bobber.
It's a bobber.
Yeah, that's right.
Strike indicator.
Now you've got a nice big stonefly here.
And that's what we call a pat stone. We fish pat stones throughout the year. There's 4 different varieties of them, plus a whole bunch of different sizes. There's browns, brown blacks, tans, black ones.
Yeah.
And throughout the year, you know, it changes a little bit in sizing. Right now we're using a size 12, which is going to be on the smaller end of them, and that one's going to represent a squala stone. Versus later in the summer, we're going to fish bigger ones, like a size 4 for the salmon flies, like a black size 4.
Yeah.
That's going to imitate a salmon fly nymph. So that changes just because it's a pat stone. There's different colors, different sizes, depending on the time of the year.
Quite a variety, yes. Yeah. And then below that, I know again, once you said in the spring when, you know, banks are eroding and the water comes up, San Juan style worms are good ones. And this pink is a real attractive one, I think.
Yeah, with the water being off colored, and we've fished the last 3 years and we always seem to fish around this time of year, and you've said, oh, you know, you always fish worms. And no, I would say, you know, a month and a half out of the year is when we're fishing worms, when the water is, you know, high and muddy, eroding from the banks, and so we will fish a lot of worms, aquatic insects, stuff like that.
Well, they proved their worth today, once again. Well, spectacular fish, spectacular country, and like you say, this is the opportunity every year in the early spring when you can find big rainbow on the upper Yakima.
That was funny.
This is David.
Johnny's like, Dave, are you gonna get that fish? That's good. That's gonna
another nice
that one down.
Another nice fish.
Yeah.
And the fisherman just figured out he had it.
Yeah, Johnny was way ahead of me on that takedown, I'll tell you. I keep telling him too, as much bobber and jig fishing as we do, I ought to be able to tell when I get a hit. It's just a matter of paying attention, like I was saying earlier. Ooh.
I'm going to switch now down to the netting.
Oh! Right there.
Dang it.
Oh my goodness.
That's a counter.
Well, I deserve that.
That's a counter.
That was a pretty fish, probably 16 inches.
That was definitely 16.
Yeah, very bright fish.
Yeah,
bad.
that was pretty. Yeah, he was really deep.
The Evinrude E-Tech. It's a dream come true.
For E-Tech engine sales and service and repair of all boats and motors, call Lyle's Boats and Motors in Kashmir.
Gaboon Productions LLC is a full-service video production company right here in the Wenatchee Valley. Gaboon is a term coined by my grandfather, commercial fishing in Alaska. It's when a bunch of fish hit your net all at the same time. We capture life as you see it. From filming those special moments to catching something big, Gaboon Productions LLC can record it, edit it, and save it for you forever. We do weddings, theater productions, concerts, reunions, commercials, and more. Go to GaboonProductions.com on the web, check us out on Facebook and on YouTube. Gaboon Productions LLC, the little video company capturing your big moments.
That's another nice fish.
You bet that's a nice fish.
Ooh, yeah. See that color?
Boy, I got it in the water, Dave.
Here we go, here we go.
I like it. Doesn't want to turn his head this way. The smart one.
Move down.
Yeah, he won't turn his head.
Don't horse him now, don't horse him.
Got all the time in the world.
Yeah, we want to get this baby.
Show a little fish. Nicely done.
Oh, not quite as big as the other one, but
No. Nice cutthroat, though.
oh,
That is a beautiful.
Johnny, thank you so much.
thank
Another
you.
great day. I mean, that's a beautiful stretch of river. It has some challenges.
There's a lot of challenges.
Yeah, you know that, but we only had one log jam really that we had to really work at to get over, and it was worth it. Well worth it.
Yeah.
We saw some big fish today.
We did. We had to work for those ones. I was hoping for a few more, but you always want more. So.
Oh yeah, but they were gorgeous. I mean, you know, cutthroat about 16 inches, another rainbow about 17, and then a 21-inch fish. Just gorgeous native fish.
Yeah, and then the one that got away.
The one that got away, oh my gosh. Well, I won't sleep tonight thinking about that fish. That was a big fish.
That was a very large fish.
Yeah, that was probably 24, maybe more.
Yeah.
We'll have to get him next time.
Definitely.
And put a tape to him.
Yeah.
But I tell you what, anytime you want to float any stretch of the Yakima River, I've done this several times now with Johnny Boitano, Troutwater. He's in the Ellensburg shop. They also have one up here in Cle Elum. It's easy to find you online.
Troutwaterfly.com.
Troutwaterfly.com, and you're there. And not only the Yakima River, but also some great adventure travel to Mexico.
Christmas Island, Baja in Mexico, Belize, Alaska.
Yeah, they do it all. A great steelheading in the winter on the Madhound, the Klickitat, on and on. Visit the website, you get an idea of the scope of what these guys do. Also, just a great crew of excellent guides. They've been with them a long time, so they're good. Their clients love them, that's why they keep doing it. So, just a great experience on the Yakima River, and anywhere else in the world you might want to try, they're willing to go.
Yeah.
Again, thanks so much, Johnny. Johnny Boitano, Troutwater, Yakima River in the early spring. What a great experience.
Thanks for watching Fishin Magician TV with Dave Graybill. Sponsored by Gaboon Productions, Lake Pateros Inn, Battery Systems, Cle Playland, Bobfile Boats and Motors, Town Ford, Hooked on Toys, and Lyle's Boats.